A few months ago, I 42F found out my boyfriend 33M cheated on me with our roommate. She 34F wasn't just a friend or acquaintance, she was his best friend, someone we both trusted enough to share a home with. To make things worse, she's an exotic dancer who often brought home different men, adding another layer of betrayal and risk. We have been together going on for years and loving together for 2. We were friends prior to this for 8 years. I found out by going through his phone. I know it wasn't right, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. When I saw the texts, flirty messages, them doing it on the couch while I was asleep, and a clear confirmation of what they'd done, as well as admitting to each other it was a mistake and should have never happened, it felt like the ground was ripped out from under me. When I confronted him, he admitted everything. He said it only happened once, that it was a drunken mistake, and that it didn't mean anything. He promised to cut her off completely, and we kicked her out of the apartment immediately. But then came the part that really crushed me: they didn't use protection. I couldn't believe he'd be so reckless, not just with his body, but with mine. I had to get tested for STIs because of his mistake. The thought that he put my health at risk, on top of everything else, makes it so much harder to forgive. And the fact that she regularly brought home other partners only made it worse. This isn't the first time her presence complicated things between us. Earlier in our relationship, we had a threesome with her. It felt like an exciting, consensual way to spice things up, and I thought we were both on the same page. This didn't happen while we were in a committed relationship, not while we were living together. But now, I can't help but feel like I unintentionally gave him permission to see her as more than just a friend. Did I make it easier for him to cross this line? Since then, he's done everything he can to fix things. He's been transparent, gone to therapy, and constantly reassures me that he loves me. But no matter how hard he tries, I can't stop replaying the betrayal. One of the hardest parts to deal with is the fact that he doesn't initiate intimacy with me anymore. He says he's been giving me space to heal and doesn't want to push me, but I can't help but think about how easily he went after her. Why did he have no problem being bold and impulsive with her, but now, with me, the person he claims to love, he's hesitant and distant? It's not like I haven't tried. I've tried to rekindle the spark, plan dates, and even initiated physical intimacy myself, but it feels one-sided. He'll respond, but it's like his heart isn't in it. I can't help but wonder, is he not attracted to me anymore? Is he still thinking about her? Or is he just racked with guilt? We've fallen into this weird routine where everything looks fine on the surface, but underneath, I feel empty. I keep wondering if I'm staying because I still love him or because starting over feels too overwhelming. And honestly, I don't know if I'll ever truly forgive him, not just for the betrayal, but for putting me in such a vulnerable and risky position. How do you rebuild trust after something like this? Is love and hard work enough to get through infidelity? Any advice or questions welcome. My wife F, 28, just confessed to me, M, 27, about her cheating. We have been married for just under a year. She only confessed because she just did a pregnancy test and it turned out negative. However, she is experiencing pregnant-like symptoms. The cheating had happened back in the first 2 weeks December 2023. I had noticed a change in her attitude in around November actually. During the end of November and beginning of December, she suddenly turned off her location with me, which I found very odd. And I asked her why, and she said that it was because I had turned off my location, but I never did. Another thing I had noticed is that she didn't want me to hold her phone or look at her phone. This gave me a red flag, but I ignored it and respected her boundaries. One day she went to the washroom and had accidentally left her phone on the bed, and I just happened to see that Tinder was on her phone. I did not open the app because I didn't think too much of it. Also to add, she wasn't paying attention to me all that much, and it felt that she wasn't treating me with respect. Now comes the first week of December, and she tells me that she is going out with her friends on the Friday, and I say okay, sure, do you want me to drop you off? And she says no. That was a red flag for me, and I told her multiple times that I can drop her off, but she refused and said that her friend is going to pick her up. Then the following week, she tells me that she is going out with her friends on the Friday, December 13th, but this time, she is going to stay the night there, and I make a big deal out of it, of course, because at this point, I barely spent time with her due to work, and I wanted to spend time with her on the Saturday after her work, because she works from Monday through Saturday. To add to the cherry on top, she say no, because she had a Christmas party to go to. So I said, okay, can I at least drop you off to the party after you work? She said sure. So Christmas comes and I buy her what she wants, which is expensive, and we have had a road trip planned with my parents. We do the road trip, have fun, and I give her gift to her and she gives me mine, but it felt like not a lot of thought was given into my gift. Now back to the pregnancy. I started to question it because I used a condom every single time and I was sure that I had it on. As well, during the time of her cheating we barely had intercourse, probably only 2 to 3 times. Now fast forward to now, she took a pregnancy and it turned out negative, but she is experiencing extreme pain, pregnant-like symptoms. Oh, I forgot to mention that she has PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome. So I'm not sure what is going on with her. After taking the test and lying to me that it's positive, she then tells me that I'm not the father. At this moment, I had a mix of emotions rush at me and I got overwhelmed and started crying. She tells me she cheated because the guy she was seeing was like me but was more independent, rich, and has money. She told me that she was using Tinder to get on dates with guys to get money and that she was going to use this guy for money. I am hurt and ick what I feel anymore. I told her that I forgive her and asked if the guy knows. She says yes and said that the guy would pay for the abortion and the hospital bills, if there are any. Also told you that I would not file for divorce, but ick now. I am lost and I just needed to vent somewhere because I told one to tell anyone I know just yet. About 6 months ago my 42M wife, 38F, sat me down after I got home from work and basically spilled her guts about an affair she had a few months prior that had carried on for a few months. My first reaction was to tell her to get the hell out of the house and start divorce proceedings, but I stopped because of our family situation, 1 kid together, and financial ties. I struggled but ultimately decided to try and make it work. My feelings have been up and down for the past few months as we try and rebuild and continue on for our family. Her affair was with a sort of coworker who was reassigned when rumors of their inappropriate relationship spread and complaints were made to his supervisor and her administration. She was not disciplined but verbally reprimanded about the situation. Apparently they would fool around at work, incredibly stupid if you ask me. I wondered if her coming home late while I watched our daughter when she was either doing something for work, working out, or with a friend was her actually out cheating. Their jobs, though different, were both top tier in terms of infidelity probability percentages. After a big blow up on my part, I told her that we can't go on unless she 100% cuts contact with him on all means of communication, social media, phone, text, etc. I thought she did, but apparently reopened communication with him without telling me. He is married with a couple of kids, 2, and pretty much made it clear he was not willing to leave his family, so there was for sure no chance of them being an official item. I came to find out that she contacted him and they met up a few months ago. Supposedly they didn't sleep together, but a friend of hers confirmed to me that they did kiss. When I found that out I knew that things were done. I went through her phone to find evidence of her affair and some other things, and I'll just say that she doesn't cover her tracks as well as she thinks. I talked to a lawyer soon to see what my options are from here. I really wanted to know if my actions were justified. In my mind, once you cheat, you lose your right to privacy with phones and social media, as it's a way to help rebuild trust. Should have cut my losses the moment I found out she cheated? Thanks for taking the time to read this. For me, it's cathartic just being able to write it out.